afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Today we're going to discuss about the topic, which is enhancing the literary skills of learners through various approaches effective in teaching literature. In this topic, we're going to identify what are those literary skills of a learner that we're going to discuss those literary skills of a learner and identify each literary skills and how to enhance those literary skills by using different approaches in teaching literature. Can you read, everyone?
The objectives of the introduction of literature component into the English literacy lesson is to help the pupils acquire the skills to read, respond to text, draw lessons and insight from slices of life, understand and appreciate other cultures, relate to events and characters and own life.
So the objective of the introduction of the literature is to help the students learn how to read. Because literature is used to improve students' reading skills and also teaching students how to respond to text. It means teaching them how to react and think critically of what they read and extracting lessons and insights from some stories. Literature is used to help students learn life lessons and gain valuable insights from the stories they read and understanding and appreciating other cultures. Literature can expose students to different cultures and help them understand and appreciate them. Relating to events, character, and their own lives. Students should be able to connect what they read in literature to real life events, characters in the stories, and their own personal experiences. Thus, the need to use the different practices to be able to cater the different needs of the learners of multiple intelligences and the multicultural background. So as a teacher, it is our responsibility to cater those needs of the learners, especially the multiple intelligences. As a teacher, we must be flexible. Like, for example, if the students have to dance, you must cater their needs. Like they want needs that if they are there, they will excel. So, what are the literary skills of learners that we need to improve? But first, let's discuss first about literary skills. Please read, everyone.
Literary skills refer to knowledge, techniques, adeptness in reading, comprehending, and communicating through writing or verbalizing.
Okay. Literary skills are the ability and expertise. Adeptness means expertise in what? In reading and understanding and expressing self through writing. These skills involve knowledge of literature, techniques for interpreting what you read, the ability to communicate thought effectively, whether in written form or through spoken words. Essentially, it's about being really good at understanding and using language in literature. First, literary skills. Visualization. Please read, everyone.
Visualizing is a reading comprehension strategy in which students create pictures in their minds as they are reading through a storyboard text.
Okay, so in visualization, it helps students to create a mental images in their mind. For example, you tell the students with a horror story talk. you can say that their visualization skills is activated through their emotions. So while you're telling them the story, like a horror story, what emotions that the student will feel and then and perceive? Fear. Yes. Because pag nagbabasa ka na ng mga horror story, makikita mo na binivisualize nila yung story pag natatakot na sila. No? Diyan natin malalaman if their visualization skills is activated. Like, they create a mental image na natatakot at napapakita nila sa kanila sarili na natatakot sila sa the story that you read. Questions about visualization? Next is close reading and big picture reading. This skills refers to strategy of reading that involve granular details. Granular details mean small details. For the former, and a bird's eye view approach to reading for the first. Let's discuss about close reading. Close reading. Please read everyone.
Close reading is a method of literary analysis which focuses on the specific details of a passage or text in order to discern some deeper meaning presented in it.
Okay, so in close reading, example, Shakespeare's Hamlet, the famous line, to be or not to be. No? Ito, pag binasa mo lang yan, if you just read the famous line, to be or not to be, it means to be or not to be, you just read the line. But if you use close reading, it means to life and to die, or life or death. That is the meaning of the famous line, to be or not to be. So in close reading, you will, as a teacher, you help students to know what are the main idea in the story, no? If they have questions, and you throw questions like, what is the author's purpose in the story? How does the author feels about the topic, and how this relate to your life? So, for example, about the story, the turtle and the turtle and the her. Diba, in the story, they, diba race? There's a race. So, and then, that story, to do close reading, malalaman mo yung, close reading, the purpose of close reading kasi is to, the purpose of close reading is for the readers to understand what the author's message want to convey to the readers. For example, in that story, what is the moral lesson in that story? Diba? Don't be too greedy, or don't be greedy. Don't be too arrogant. Yes, boastful. Diba? That is what is the purpose of the close reading, to know what the author's message wants to convey. Even the granular detail or even the small details, malalaman mo yan through close reading. Now, how to close read? To close read, for example, as a teacher, first, ikaw muna yung mag-close read. For example, you read the story before you let the students read the story. Makakabisado mo na yung story. So that if you let the students read that story, if they have some questions like clarifications, if they don't know that term in the story, you can reinforce or you can teach them what is meant in that specific context in the story. That is in close reading. To know the deeper meaning of the text. Next is big picture reading. Big picture reading focuses on larger themes or recurring details. In big picture reading, it's like some opposite on the big picture reading, in the close reading. Because in close reading, you're focusing on the granular details, maybe the small details. And in big picture reading, you're just focusing on the recurring details. For example, if you close your, if you take a look at this painting closer, what will you see? What will you see? The color, the dots. Yes. In big picture reading, it's like stepping back to know the generalization. No? Di ba pag masyado kang malapit dito, makikita mo lang ito mga brown, yung mga ano. So in big picture reading, you're like stepping back to see the whole, like the generalization. That is in big picture reading. Means looking at the overall themes or the important recurring details. Recurring details is the ideas that appears repeatedly in the piece of literature. Instead of getting caught up in a small details, it involves paying attention for larger concepts or pattern. That is big picture reading. Questions about big picture reading? No? Big picture reading. For example, ito. For example, when reviewing a textbook chapter on World War II, you might notice sections headings like cause of war, major battles, and consequences. Like the highlights of the text. No? That is the purpose of big picture reading, to know. For example, news. You see the headings. Diba? If you see the headings, malalaman mo na yung buong story kahit hindi mo nabasahin ang lahat. Even you don't read even the granular, even the small details in that story. You have an idea overall, like, because you read the headings. Next is making prediction. Please read, everyone.
This is a skill used in reading comprehension to attempt to figure out upcoming events in a particular reading.
Okay, in big picture reading. To develop the, making prediction of the students. For example, you read a story about, like I said earlier, the turtle and the hare. The students didn't know yet about the story. So, di ba, in the story, they have a race method. So, you ask the student, okay class, the turtle versus the hare, who do you think will win the race? Di ba? What do you think will happen next? Di ba? Like ganun. Di ba, ang sasagot dyan sa mga bata is, mananalo talaga ang rabbit and hare because the hare move faster than the turtle. So, remember that prediction is not always right. No? So, yun ang mga prediction mga bata, mananalo talaga ang hare. So, if you read the story, so yun, malalaman nila na prediction lang pala nila yun, mali pala. Yung totoo palang nanalo ay ang turtle. Make the prediction. Who do you think will win the race? Next is inferring. Please read, everyone.
Inferring is done when a conclusion is logically assumed through the observation, facts, evidence, and reasoning.
Okay. Example, in a story, if a character is described as pacing back and forth, biting their nails, and looking worried, you can infer that they anxious or nervous, even if the authors doesn't explicitly say so. Diba? Inferring, you're just looking for the facts and evidences. No? Diba? Discuss tayo. Basta. Inferring is based on the observation with the facts and evidence and reasoning. Next is paraphrasing. This is the ability to recreate a selection of text in your own writing that accurately portrays the information and any underlying messaging while not plagiarizing the source text. Example, ito. Please read everyone the original.
The Komodo dragon is the world's largest lizard, measuring over 20 feet from snout to tail. It lives only on 6 islands in the Indonesian archipelago.
So in paraphrasing, no, so para maiwasan yung plagiarize, to teach the student, for example, the original, help the students to understand, no, to understand so that if they do paraphrasing, meron na silang alam, no, meron na silang alam na na-gets na nila yung idea, na hindi na nila kinakailangan kapihin pa yan from point to point. So, in paraphrasing, di ba, alam na naman natin yung paraphrasing. So, in paraphrasing, make sure that the students actually understand the text before they do paraphrasing, so that to avoid plagiarism. Okay, now, let's talk about approaches in teaching literature. In this part, I will just introduce to you a brief explanation about the approaches because I'm important to discuss. Okay, first approach, shared reading. Please read everyone.
It's an interactive process of reading involving the whole class. Children participate in the process by reading keywords and phrases they know, while the teacher reads aloud.
Okay, shared reading. Ganito ang shared reading. The teacher will read first. For example, ito. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Next, you read the text.
Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all.
That is shared reading. The teacher will read first the text before the student will read. No, that is shared reading. Next, any question about shared reading? Because I will ask you later which saan approach, anong approach ang gagamitin to improve those visualization. Next, silent reading, please let everyone.
Provide the opportunity to learn the meaning of many words in context.
In silent reading, there is no movement of lips and the tongue. You just read with your mind and your eyes. That is silent reading. Next is cooperative learning. Please read everyone.
Defined as small groups of learners working together as a team to solve a problem, complete a task, or accomplish a common goal.
So we all know that cooperative learning, to cooperate, it is a small group that works together, that shares idea, and brainstorming. So that is cooperative learning. Next is differentiate. Please state everyone.
Differentiate students varying background, knowledge, experience, language, preferences, and learning interests, and act responsibly.
Okay, differentiated learning. It deals with the multiple intelligences. Learners, it caters the needs of the multiple intelligences learners to recognize the students' varying backgrounds, their knowledge, language, preferences, and learning interests. So, okay. In this literary skills of our learners, visualization, to improve these visualization skills of the learners, which among those approaches that we can use? Visualization. Why? Okay, very good. That's right. Visualization. In visualization, they create a mental images. So in silent reading, it creates focus and concentration for the students to think and visualize the text that they read. Even though the text has no picture, but in their minds, they create a picture about reading the text. Next, here, close reading. Which among of those approaches that can help to enhance these skills? Which among those approaches? Share, silent, cooperative, or differentiated learning? Anything? Ah? Ano ba? Ah? Close reading? Okay. You can use shared reading or silent reading. You can use those two to improve these skills of the learners. Same also in here, big picture reading skills of the you can use also shared reading. But here, making predictions, which do you think? Which are among those approaches, among 4 approaches that you can use to improve these skills? What? It depends. It depends because these are, diba? Depende yan. But you can use also the cooperative learning and shared reading. Depend. Next in paraphrasing. Ito. What approach that we're going to use to improve this? Ha? What approach? Sharing. Okay, you can use shared reading. So, any questions? Clarifications? That's all for my report.
What's that, Day? Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's now move on to different approaches in enhancing the literary skills. First, I would define the reading. We all know that reading is the process of receiving or interpreting information in language, where the students and the learners interact with each other, that they can exchange information to gather information, right? Yes, that's reading. So the first approach is shared reading. According to Rutman 1991, kindly read, everyone.
A shared reading as any reading rewards situation where the learner sees text and observe a more expert leader with fluency and expression.
According to the definition that provided by Reggie Rutman in 1991, shared reading is described as a reading situation where a learner, typically a student, is exposed to text while observing a more experienced reader, often a teacher, who reads with fluency and expression. We all know that the teacher are more expert in terms of reading, right? So we as a pre-service teacher, in the near future, we need to excel ourselves to be more expert in reading. Let us have a deeper definition about what Rutman said in shared reading. Reading situation, where a reading situation, shared reading is a specific setting or activity that involves reading. It typically occurs inside the classroom, but also it can take place in other learning environments. Another is the learner. In this context, written text, which could be a book or a poem, or any written material that is suitable for the learner's age and reading level. Next is expert leader. An expert leader is often a more proficient reader. It is typically a teacher, right? It is typically a teacher. Or an experienced reader who can demonstrate a story reading skills. For example, Sir Vincent Reed, right? He is more fluent in reading skills. And also Sir Ma'am Rosa, diba? This in expert leader, the person involved here is the teacher, where this person serves as a model for the learner. Next is fluency and expression. The expert leader reads the text fluently. It means they read smoothly at an appropriate pace. Pace. P-A-C. Pace. Pace. Also, they read with expression using tone, inflection, and emotion to convey the reading and engage the learner. So, as what Ruthman said about the shared reading, it is an instructional strategy used to promote literacy and literacy development, particularly in young learners or who are less experienced in reading. I would give you an example of pero wala siya dito sa amin. For example, the expert leader usually the expert leader are the teachers, right? The teacher reads the selected text while the learner or the student follows along. Like what Mr. Daro said, di ba, pinademo kayo kung paano gawin yung shared reading. The teacher reads first before the learners because the teacher is the role model where the teacher have knowledge more about the text. Wala man. Wait lang yung puso. Do you experience shared reading when you are in elementary grades? Yes. Right. So shared reading, especially in pre-kindergarten, where the teacher reads first the text, di ba? Pinapabasa ni teacher, kunwari, ito yung A, tapos ano sounds ng A. Whereas the learners, susunod naman kung ano yung binasa ng teacher. Another example of shared reading is when you teach rhymes. Rhymes are a reading activity where the teacher reads a text that contains rhyming words and the students listen to identify the rhyming pairs. This can help students develop phonological awareness and word recognition skills. For example, I am a fourth grade teacher where I might use rhymes to teach students about rhyme schemes and poetry. Another example, in a first grade classroom, using classic children's book. You don't know about Caterpillar by Eric Carr. Alam niyo to? So, illustrations. While reading, the teachers might ask questions like after reading, the teacher might ask the students what do you think will happen next, or how many fruits did the caterpillar or uh, eats in or Malay. This way we can develop the art of questioning, diba? Art of questioning by by the teacher. So next, let's move on to the benefits of shared reading. Kindly read.
Number 1, allow students to enjoy materials that they may not be able to read on their own.
Number 2.
Second, ensures that all students feel successful by providing support to the entire group. Third, students act as if they are reading.
Next.
Help teaching frequently using vocabulary.
Wala ko naririnig. Ulit.
Help in teaching frequently use vocabulary. Encourage visual reading. Help students develop a sense of story and increases comprehension.
So, benefits of shared reading. Shared reading is a link in helping students become independent readers. So, it allows the teachers to model and support students using prediction and confirming skills. It allows also less confident students the chance to share stories, articles, poetry in a non-threatening situation. Shared reading focuses on meaning, fun, enjoyment, characters, and sequence of a story, and allows them to relate it back to their own experiences. It promotes also discussion, problem solving, and critical thinking by students. In shared reading also can be done with a small group, a large group, and the whole class. And can be an article. It can be an article, a poem, a story, or etc. It is a shared reading. It is a technique that can be used with any level, age, ability, and period. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes.
Next, how to use a shared reading. First, introduce the story by discussing the title, cover, and illustrator. For example, you have a book, diba? You have a book, and then you as a teacher, you need to introduce the title cover, diba? In a book. Kunwari, ito yung book. Dapat, ikaw as a teacher, you need to kailangan mong sabihin sa kanila kung anong title. Kasi since in elementary grades, they cannot read well, di ba? Di ba sila masyadong nakaka-read? Next, ask students to make predictions regarding what they think the story might be about. Understand?
Yes.
Third,
Read the story aloud to the students using appropriate instructions and rules.
next,
Pose and ask them to make predictions.
next,
Ask brief questions to determine students' comprehension level. Next is
next, review the reading by reserving time for reactions and comments.
ask questions about the story and relate the story to the students' similar experiences. Ask the students to retell the story in their own words. Conduct follow-up
vocabulary. It provides the opportunities to engage them in an expressive, meaningful, and fluent reading. Let's move on to procedure for shared reading. First, select a text which has teaching point that meets the needs of the students. Second, discuss with students the topic to find out prior knowledge. Next, third, state the purpose of the text. Ask the students to predict the text from the cover, title, and illustrator. The procedure for shared reading. As a pre-service teacher, we must have a way of teaching. There are different ways of teaching, right? There are different ways of teaching, right?
Yes.
There are different way of teaching where the students encouraged to participate in a task or in a lesson. We let the students share their own experiences in relating to the text. Diba? Next, importance of shared reading. Kindly read, everyone.
It provides struggling readers with necessary support. Shared reading of predictable text can build signboard knowledge and reading fluency. Allows students to enjoy materials that they may not be able to read on their own. Ensures that all students feel successful by providing support to the entire group.
Shared reading matters so much because it guides the students along in their journey through increasingly difficult texts. So, in near future, the students, where the students, madadala nila kung ano yung pinapagawa ng teacher nila nung bata pa sila, di ba? It can improve their reading skills. So let's move on to second approach, which is silent reading. Nakikinig pa kayo? According to Bulusan F. Raquero and Blanco Amado, kindly read everyone.
There is no movement of lip or tongue.
In silent reading is a process of reading where the reader only uses his eyes. In silent reading, right? Sino yung silent reader dito? Halos kayo lahat, di ba? In silent reading, the reader only uses his eyes. Am I right? Yes. Yes. And uses his eyes and mind and does not produce any sounds. Meron bang na silent reading na nagpo-produce ng sound? Wala, di ba? Silent nga eh. Silent reading. Therefore, in silent reading, it cannot notice any lip or tongue movement and the functioning of the vocal cords. It helps the reader enjoy what he or she reads. Do you understand silent reading?
Yes.
The benefits of silent reading. Kindly read.
It is more effective. Improves understanding. Increases reading speed.
Provides deeper insight.
Helps avoid distractions.
The benefits of silent reading, it doesn't require using any vocal cords or worrying about the saying of words with trust or pronouncing them correctly. it lets you read words anyway or anyway or you want what way any no? Come on, anyway. Read words any way you want to, which proves to be more effective way that helps you build momentum and grasp important information. Also, the benefits of silent reading, keeping aside reading time for yourself also helps improve your reading comprehension in countless ways. For instance, during loudly reading, when you say loudly, malakas. Yes. So, for instance, during loudly reading, you'll be primarily focused on your telling the story. You'll want your voice to convey the characters' emotions and breathe life into the story. It lets you connect to the characters and go through the story fast. You can easily glide through the story like a skilled navigator and quickly cover to let off text. Having independent reading time comes to rescue again here. It's like a skill you can utilize to peer into the crystal ball of your text and decipher the hidden insights. That helps you focus solely on what the text discusses without running through the pages repeatedly. Also, helps you avoid distractions. Getting distracted by your voice is more common than we think. The effort you put in during reading aloud can be really distracting. Do you experience you are reading silently tapos nasa public places kayo? Di ba very distracting? So do you understand the benefits of silent reading? Huh? Do you understand? Next, purpose of silent reading. It improves student understanding. Also, it helps develop reading skills for a purpose. Silent reading improves students' understanding because it helps them concentrate on reading rather than pronunciation. This practice also allows children to read faster and improve comprehension. Di ba when you are silently reading, ang bilis ng mata nyo, ang bilis nyo magbasa, parang gagano tapos na agad yung isang page. Di ba? Uy, gano'n. Namin yan. Ako subay. Next, it helps develop reading skills for a purpose. It also helps develop reading skills for a purpose as the focus is on understanding the content. So when you are reading silently, you can focus on what the purpose of the content you read. Diba? Next, there are many ways to get the most out of silent reading in schools or inside the classroom. First, kindly read everyone.
Enjoyment is the focus. Students choose the book. The space is right. Inspired by the keen readers. Students have access to library.
In this way, the students can apply his or her this way students can madadala niya yung pagka-focus niya sa reading skills where magiging magiging kasanayan niya yung pagre-read ba? If these ways ay magagamit, di ba? Kasi ito na mga ways. These ways can improve the children's reading skills. Any questions or clarifications? I have question. I have question. What is the difference between shared reading and silent reading? Kindly stand. I need one participant. Kuralde.
A shared reading, it is what like Bisaya. It is reading aloud like what you have said. The teacher read first and then after that we let the students read, the students to read it again. So that is the difference between silent reading is that silent reading is the only read using their eyes and mind in order to comprehend the text, while also silent reading is hindi na natilong lang siya, but ang shared reading is it needs listening, using
the disadvantage of silent reading is that yung students na nagsa-silent reading, kung meron silang mga words na hindi alam, hindi sila mako-correct agad, di ba? Kasi silent reading lang eh. While in shared reading, the teacher must teach or must correct the learners on what is the yung correct voice or correct pronunciation, di ba? Am I right?